windy. Kids are napping, mom is napping, so we're out here. And I've got 3 separate fields here. This is our traditional double crops, following about 90 bushel beans. This is the neighbor's monocrops, 2 9s, you can see they're turning. And then we have our relay field right back behind here. So I labeled it Catch 22, and you know, life's about compromise. This is the traditional double crop ways. We have a lot of ways we raise monocrop soybeans, and we really focus on canopying, you know, around summer solstice. So we plant soybeans pretty thick, and what happens is, I see it every year, when we get out here and we get thick soybeans, we can't get sunlight down low. So the reason why you're seeing leaves on the ground, you know, 2 or 3 weeks ago, is because these leaves that were connected to these nodes no longer can reach the tabletop or the sun. So you end up having a soybean here. I'm gonna owe my neighbor here. Let's count the nodes here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 nodes. And we'll keep this. And then we get into the traditional double crops here. So we went for gold on our regular wheat, and now we're left planting after summer solstice. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 nodes, and we have frost here in hopefully 5 weeks, maybe earlier. But look at soybean size. You know, I talk about nodes, pods per node, and size. Size trumps everything, and that's the biggest pod on here. Is that soybean seed going to be very big when Jack Frost gives it a death? It's pretty much certain in our double crops. It's just how much can we produce until it dies. So we'll get out here in our relay field. We'll take our monocrop and our double crop with us here. And I want to talk about, again, the Catch 22 compromise. So there's no doubt about it, we're going to give up some yield going in wider row wheat. But life's all about compromise and context. So if I apply manure and plant wheat normal, it's just gonna lay down like a prom date that's had a little bit too much to drink. I probably shouldn't have said that. You know what I mean? So in this context, if we space the wheat out and we let it tiller, then it's going to stand, and the tillers now can catch sunlight. So what happens is we get 2 inverse angles with our wheat. So we change sun capture, thinking about, and that's the beauty of coming out here every day and observing, is we study growth stages and sunlight capture. So I talked earlier about the wheat being in a half a circle. So the ground floor is 7 inches, but we're 25 inches up here in a half a circle. So we have a coefficient of 5 compared to the ground floor. So getting soybeans planted in between there ultra early, the whole point of the ultra early is to get maximum yield out of the soybeans, but it's to not have the fixed cost of getting a new planter out here. So if I were to market maneuver and go to a guy that's only going to do this on 50 acres, he can use his existing planter and run over the wheat. That's the whole point, is just to prove that works. So when you study where these soybeans are located compared to the thatch, the most susceptible plant to frost is these middle ones. We get somewhat of a thermal equity next to the wheat, so it's kind of like an eagle's wings or an eagle sitting on its eggs. These plants are going to be pretty safe down to 24, 25 degrees. This guy might die when it's 28. So when we get that weed out of the way, now we have a plant that, instead of having to grow vertical to get more sunlight to the next node, it just needs to expand its leaves sideways. So every leaf that you're seeing out here is a solar panel, and if we can get sunlight to infiltrate some of these lower nodes, leaves associated with these lower nodes, now we can bring energy back to that soybean plant. And what happens is we build a completely different soybean plant in itself. So now we're talking about a plant that's about 2/3 as tall, but we've got between 20 and 25 nodes per plant out here, and a lot of these nodes have 6 to 10 to 12 pods per node. So we gave up some seed in the exact positioning of the wheat plant. It outcompeted it, but having it in that orientation allowed for a different type of sunlight capture. So you can see that we're still canopied even though we're starting to lose a lot of these leaves, but having them sideways filled the void quicker after wheat harvest. So the whole point in what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to simplify agriculture. Until 1950, we basically had sun, we had plants, and we had animals. And we had the Green Revolution, we were focused on yield, we started exporting. And if we can get to a system that manages manure a lot more efficiently, then we can start banding manure and planting wheat simultaneously and growing this wheat for just literally 1/5 the seeds right below above the manure. And now we can start using extend soybeans and start getting soybeans with more life because of the things that I talked about previously. And we're just building a different cropping system, utilizing the whole calendar year. And think about all the rains that you get throughout the off season that's not in that June to July time frame when you're really begging for rain. If you could cash in on every day and every weather event and hedge your risk each way, you're just playing black and red and you got a chip on the green, you know? So anyway, that's what this is all about. Not as many plants, but a different type of plant architecture, a longer bean. So you've got them 2.9 monocrops that will be harvested in a week. These are 4.0s planted in March. See, some of the areas haven't even turned yet. So we've got a lot more time left to increase bean size. So again, that trumps everything. These pods have been here for months on end. So these soybean size is going to be really large. And that's what's really going to fill that combine tank, even though we don't have as many plants out here. What's the final stand? It's pretty variable. I would say an average is somewhere around 80,000. You can see where the combine tracks were right here. So we had some harvest damage. I did do a study where I dropped the rate down to where I just planted 130, and that's too thin, giving up the plants next to the wheat. But it's right around 80,000. But that, right here's the wheat thatch. And you can see how the sun could get down to these lower nodes. That's why you're seeing these plants. I planted the wheat with a John Deere 750 drill blocked off, 37.5 inch twin row, and then I just went perpendicular with a Kinsey 3700 36 row 20. So these are the tram lines I'm standing on, makes it pretty easy to walk. And then these are 20-inch rows perpendicular. So I'm still trying to figure out row spacing, best system. I know that I have to give up some wheat yield to make the system the most profitable. And when I start giving up wheat yield, I can start leveraging tillering by just giving more sunlight for each individual wheat, which lowers my wheat seeding population. So again, we can talk about how much soybean plants are here that I planted, but at the end it only matters on yield. And on the front end, my wheat population was much lower than a traditional system. We planted 450,000 instead of 1.5 million, so about 30% of the wheat seeds. All right, thanks for watching. Good day.